Hello everyone, welcome to my live stream. My name is Denise Hutchins and I am broadcasting to you from Studio Mikarts. Today is Wednesday, which means it's time to work on some illustration stuff. Before that, I wanted to quickly introduce my charity of the month, which is Vegan Outreach. They help people learn more about veganism and transition to a vegan lifestyle. So if you watch my stream, then you will be helping the animals because I'm going to make a donation at the end of the month based on my unique viewers count. So all you got to do is join me and bring your friends and we'll all be helping the animals together. Yay! Also, if you would like to make a donation of your own, there's a little donation button there. You can make a donation directly to Vegan Outreach. Yeah, so that's it. Let's get started with the artwork. We are in the beginning phases of my current project, which is the Birthday Gryphon. This is my second Birthday Gryphon illustration. It's going to be a card. So this is all my brainstorming page and little research, stuff like that. I've also got my sheet of thumbnail sketches that I did last week. Oh, that's upside down. And today, in preparation, so what I needed to do was choose a composition. And the one I liked the most was this one. So this is the one I'm going to be fleshing out more today. I like it because since it's a card, it's going to be folded down the middle. That's what this blue line is for. And so I feel like both sides are a nice scene that can be appreciated whichever way you look at the card. And then if you open the card all the way, you can have the full scene together as well. Plus, I like that we have some very, very up close griffins, and then they go sort of diagonally farther and farther into the background, and then we also have another direction going back into the background with some even smaller griffins watching these baby griffins. The idea is the baby griffins are getting their birthday cupcakes. So I've found a whole bunch of really nice reference images of little pied cormorants to start with. The griffin is going to be little pied cormorant paired with a, what was it called? Tiger coal. And so most of the griffin is going to be the bird part that we will see because we've got this nest here that's covering a lot of it up. So that's all I've done today in preparation is the bird, looking for the bird reference images. But before we can do that, let's get some square sketches. Well, not square, rectangles drawn on here. I don't remember if I have a prepared sheet. So this is a prepared sheet that I made in Photoshop that has the correct proportions for the card. But I would like to draw a few bigger ones. So I'm just going to do those by hand on my sketchbook page. So we're going to do that first before we start drawing anybody. So let's see. I use this one. I think this is a gray, no, this is black. Do I not have a gray one in? Oh, here's the gray one. Gray one's on this side. Ah, that's got all this. This is what is it? A graphite crayon, and it's got all this stuff on here. My shirt is gray, so I'm going to use my shirt to... Oh, Exie is here. Hello, Exie! How are you? So great to see you. It's so good to see the little ranger sliding in with you animated so expertly. Hope you're doing well. Did you have a good weekend? A good week so far? Wednesday is hump day, so you're already over the hump where you are. Okay, I got most of the graphite off. I think that's good. And then I've got my lovely little ruler. This is that cool one where it's got this stuff on the back. Oh, there's graphite on the back of this too. It's got this coating on the back, so if you put pressure on it, it will not move. It will not slide on the page. I mean, I'm sure if you really force it, you have to put a lot of effort anyway, I love it because it's very lightweight, thin, small, fits in my case here. But then it's so useful because that is an issue with rulers, is when they're just sliding around and you're drawing along it and it's like, and then you have this like jagged line because it moved. Oh, excellent. Yay. Always glad to hear it. Oh, heck yes. That's awesome. Got some commissions. Graphic design or something else? You don't have to tell me if you don't want to. And how am I? I'm doing well, especially considering I caught a cold on Sunday, or I think I caught a cold on Saturday because I went to a concert and the person next to me was coughing the whole time without covering their mouth. So I think I caught it on Saturday, and then Sunday I came down with it. But I'm actually feeling pretty good considering it's not very... hold on, I gotta look up a ratio calculator so I can figure out how big to make these squares to be the correct, not squares, rectangles. So yeah, anyway, I've been able to happily keep up, I think this is what I want, keep up with my daily activities, my work and everything. I've just been skipping my morning workouts because my muscles feel sore as if I've worked out, and I haven't worked out. I always give myself the weekend off, so I know that they're sore because of the cold. Yeah, doing surprisingly well. Okay. Oh, graphic design, neat. So it's just like, are they more fun ones or more serious business type of graphic design? Again, as usual, you don't have to answer any question if you don't want to. This is not the one that I have one that I have saved on my computer, but my keyboard doesn't reach far enough and I don't use a cordless keyboard. Where is the ratio calculator that I like? Oh wait, maybe if I go to the Firefox app, it'll have my bookmarks. Desktop bookmarks, yes. Oh, here we go. Menu. Wait, not menu. It's under toolbar. Yeah, here we go. Studio Mikarts, online tools. Where is it? I know it's got to be on here. Oh, this is what I want. Aspect ratio calculator. This site is awesome. Aspect ratio calculator. It just, you can put in any numbers and it will figure out the corresponding numbers, and you can tell it to do it really precise or just the round, it says round results to the nearest whole number. This place is awesome. Let's see. So, width 1 is 10. For 10 inches, the card's going to be 10 inches. Width 2 is 7. Because we're going to fold it in half in the end, it'll be a 10 by 7. Oh, nice. Yay, I can look at them. Okay, so the ratio I want... I don't think I need to pick a ratio. What I want is just relative to each other, so not round. What I want is, if it's... Oh, this only has centimeters. Blast it! Okay, Google, what's 10 inches in centimeters?
10 inches is 25.4 centimeters.
All right, 25. We'll put 25.4. Okay. Okay, Google, what's 7 inches in centimeters?
7 inches is equal to 17.78 centimeters.
17. Well, let's round that up to 8. That's close enough. I love my, I call it the G so that it doesn't think I'm talking to it. I ask it these kind of questions all day long. Okay, so I want it to, let's see, so there's about, maybe if I make it about 5, oh goodness. Let's make it, if we do 7. Because this is 15, so maybe I can do 10. two 10s would fit, maybe? Nah, that's a bit too big. Let's do two 8s. So the other height is going down to 8, which makes... Ah, why is it not calculating it? What? It's not working the way it usually does. Enter the values for the original. Oh, I entered it wrong ways. I entered it like this. It needs to go like this. 1 is a column and 2 is a column, not rows. I haven't used this in a long time. Okay, so the height, 17.8. There we go. And so I want the height to become... what did I say? 8? I think 8 centimeters. Okay, so now I can show you what I did. I put in the actual measurements of the final piece here in centimeters. I'm doing it in inches because that's common printing size here in America, but put it in centimeters because my ruler is in centimeters. And then these are the equivalents, so I'll just make them 8 by 11 and we'll just round up to a half, so 8 by 11 and a half. For these little squares, let me write that down. 8 by 11 and a half centimeters, so that I can divide my page up into squares like this to do larger sketches. Oh, hold on. Actually posted this stuff. Oh, is this the same? I feel like you did someone's thing. I'm looking on the Discord. Oh, what? That chain effect is awesome. Oh, it's dreamy. Looks like it has sound, but I have my sound off on my phone right now, but... Oh. Yeah, it's awesome. I love... So is that the actual printed shirt? Welcome to the first day of the rest of our lives. This shirt design is super awesome. I love shirts that are not just like a little thing on the chest. I love shirts that really use the space and like have stuff that goes on the arms or whatever. So I love that shirt, how it goes all the way down to the bottom. Oh, it is the same. I thought it looked familiar. It's that mask makes it look familiar. Oh, that's neat. So you did those over the weekend? Oh, that looks like 3 things. It's like a banner, an animated. That chain effect is really super cool too. Oh, those are for a concert. Neat. Wow. How long did it take you to make those? I mean, I guess it took you the weekend, but you said you were busy. Okay, so 8 tall. Ooh, I want a square thing. Hold on. Oh, look, I've got this little... but it's got a little QR code on it. I don't want to use that. I have somewhere a little triangle. A little plastic triangle for getting right angles. I think it's here. Oh, I have some metal ones too. This is too big for in here though. I had a little plastic one somewhere I think was smaller. These are a bunch of stencils. That's not what I'm looking for though. Thought I had one, but now me no see. Does this one fit? I would like to keep one in here. I feel like maybe it was over. Is it behind here? No. Alright, I'll just have to use this metal one that's way bigger than I want, but I don't know where my little plastic one went. At least I can use this one. This is slightly smaller. Or is it? No, it's actually longer. I can't win. This one came out easier, so we're using this one. Just for the right angle right here. What? I can tell I'm still a little bit unwell because my throat just feels really scratchy today. Oh, you're welcome. I'm shaking my shaker bomb. 1 to 2 active working on. Oh, yeah. Well, that's something that I think it would be nice if more people appreciated. That it's not just that the artist or the designer is spending this many hours with their pen to the paper or to the tablet or whatever, but that they have to spend all this time coming up with the idea and, like you said, talking with their client. Not to mention the time in the past spent getting to know how to do this in the first place, because even stuff that's really heavily computer based still requires knowledge of how to make it work. So yeah, that is pretty busy. I hope they liked it. Did they say? Did they say if they... I mean, I guess if it's finished, they must have liked it. Hope so. Now this one's in inches. Blast it. I just want it for the angle. Now we can measure this part. 11.5, we want this, centimeters. Doesn't have to be perfect, but it does help if I can get it as close as possible. So now I don't have to measure, I only have to measure those two, and I can just use this sort of straight edge to create the other corner. Boop. Alright, so let's do that 4 times, just in case I need to sketch multiple times and then this whole page is prepared. Alright, so we'll start with 8 centimeters here. And I'm trying to line it up with this square just because visually that helps me. It's a distraction if it's off. Then all I can look at is how it's not lining up with the one below it. Okay, so now make this corner. Chappie just flopped her head onto the hard floor off of her bed and her dog tags. That's what that noise was. They hit the floor with her flop. Okay, got that lined up pretty good, and just finish up this line to 11.5 centimeters. Oh, awesome. Yeah, I would be. Looks really good. I cannot make this work. Okay, we're gonna have to just draw this past. Do they work with you a lot? Since you made something for the other person before, are you regular collaborators? Okay, 2 more. Okay, let's line it up with this line. So it's kind of hard to see. Oh, I gotta turn it upside down to actually do the measurement. Alright, lining it up. And 11.5. I used to do this so often in illustration class because we had to just pump out the illustration projects so fast, and it was really tough. Oh look, this is centimeters. Because except for my last semester where the only class I had was my capstone illustration project, I always had tons of other classes to do at the same time, and it was just like so crazy trying to get everything done. I actually don't think it's a very healthy amount of work, regardless of focus. But it is hard because you've got to get the skills to be able to support yourself and stuff and get them fast enough. So even though I wish it didn't have to be like that, I don't see how it can't be with the way student loans and stuff currently work. Oh. Oh, yeah, that's so great to hear for them. It's almost like I didn't see your message, but I was almost like I was talking about what you were saying, because that's, yeah, university takes up all the time. I mean, I was lucky that I was doing illustration as my university focus, so I could at least still be creating artwork. But rarely, and not really, there were a couple pieces I really liked that I did, but for the most part, it was not what I would call my main work. It was just accomplishing things that were assigned to me at my final illustration project. That was the big exception, because you get to pick what you want to do. And I explained, I want to make something that's not going to be student work. I want to start on a book project that I'm going to continue. And my professor was really awesome, because he recognized that, and he would remind me of that sometimes when I was making decisions, and he was like, well, if you want this to be a project that continues on after you graduate, then blah, blah, blah. So he helped me keep that in mind, and so that was really nice. But so many times it's just easy to lose your focus because you just have to get all the assignments done in all the classes, and sometimes the classes have almost nothing to do with your main area of focus, what you want a career in and stuff. It's so tough. All that said, I don't think there was any class that was completely worthless or anything. I think everything I learned in university had value. So I don't regret it or anything. It would just be cool if it could be different. Okay. Putting this back next to the graphite pencil where it's going to get all dirty again. But I want to get my blue. So this will help me, since I used gray so that this can kind of fade into the background. But I want to use blue for these lines that I'm going to draw in the middle here to divide it in half, so I can keep in mind the fold that's going to happen because it's a greeting card. I like that to be blue because it stands out more. If I start drawing with graphite or something and I do a gray line in the middle, it's really easy to lose it. Okay, so now, I don't know if you're hearing it, Aoife is heaving her sighs. Okay, so 11.5, so it should be 6 1/4. Once again, doesn't have to be perfect though. Just so long as I can imagine the final sketch from this, then that's all I need. So I'm just doing the I forgot what I was going to say. I'm just doing what? I do not remember what I was going to say. I started thinking about Exie, your person who's getting back into music, and I started wondering if they're getting back into music as a hobby or getting back into music now that they're done with university and they want to make it their career. I don't know if you know. But that's what distracted me. I was just wondering about that. Ah, how did I mismark this? Oh, I did it the same down there too. Audie? How did I do this? Oh. What? That should be right. 11.5, and it should be 6 1/4. Why is it off? 11.5, 6.25. Oh, because I'm wrong. Not 6.25. My goodness. I'm bad with math. Should be 5.25. No, it should be 5.75. Aha! That's why it was wrong. 5.75 makes 11, because 6 makes 12 when you double it. There. Now it should line up. That seems better. Now I can't remember which one is the correct one. This one's the correct one. Quick, let's connect these before I forget. There. Crisis averted. Oh, you can't even see it because it's because the blue doesn't show up on the camera. There. Measure it 3 times. That's why they tell you measure twice, cut once. Well, I measured 3 times and drew once. Okay, so 5.75. 5.75. Oops, that's a little bit off to the side. This one. Connecting them. Wee. Sometimes I feel pretty confident with doing math in my head, and then other times I'm like, what's happening? Numbers are so abstract for my brain that they take a lot of processor. That's what it feels like. It feels like, yes, I can do it. I can calculate it. I can calculate it in my head, but I have to stop. I can't think about anything else. And then I have to verify just to make sure that what I did makes sense. There. I was in advanced math classes in high school, so I definitely have the capability, but it's just not a thing that's in my everyday life more than like adding and subtracting. So arithmetic is basically what I use most in everyday life, but usually it's not decimals. But I got it. I did it. It's all good. And it's nice because this was a measurement that I could tell as soon as I looked at it and tried to line up the pieces. I was like, wait a minute, this just does not seem right. How come they're all at an angle? Because I had turned the ruler upside down, and since it wasn't at the halfway point that I was marking, it was inevitable that it would be a diagonal instead of a straight line. Anyway, now we have 4 nice big areas for more detailed sketches. Yay! Okay. Now I'm seeing the story Exy posted. I'm reading it. Oh, they're not even done. Ah, I see. Oh, I see. Well, that makes sense. Maybe they can find shaking my bottle again. Maybe they can find a area of focus that helps them with music. Like at my university, they introduced while I so I have a very rocky history with university, but the final 3 years, I stayed there the whole time and did full-time school. And during that time, those final 3 years, they introduced an arts entrepreneurship minor. And that was great because it could help anyone doing any kind of creative career. So maybe there's something like that they can find. Because it definitely helped me, and I didn't even get the minor. The student loans worked out that I literally couldn't afford it, so I just took a few of the classes. Alright, what do I want to sketch with? Do I want to sketch with pen? I want to sketch. I used graphite for these. But I might want to use pen now because it's going to be a lot bigger, and that's less smearing of stuff and smudging of stuff if I use pen. So I'm going to go to my favorite little sketching pen, This cute Coco, I think it's called Coco Ito. The name always rubs off. I have two of these and the name always rubs off of here. It used to be printed with what pen it was. Let's see, the other one is over here. Maybe it still says. Nope. See, it's the same story here. This one. I'm pretty sure it's called Coco Ito though. They allow you to... The cool thing about these pens is that you can take the cartridge out like this and you can just basically replace it with anything that they have. They've got brush pens and different colors of ink. They've got like, I think felt tip pens and stuff. I have a little small brush pen with black ink in here. Also, look at how cute it is. Oh, if it'll focus. Come on, camera, work with me today. No? Not working with me today. Focus on my hand. It's taking up all the screen. Nope. Anyway, I think you can still see. Oh, you can see there, that far away. It's sparkly! This little tip part is... The part where you put your hand is all sparkly and cute. Okay, anyway. Let's see. So this... Show this one more time. This is the thumbnail sketch that I decided to go with. And now I just want to flesh it out a bit more. I have some different sites open that have, let's see, so these are just little pied cormorants in general. But they have examples of what their nests look like. I think that's the most important thing. Oh, I think there's a little baby in this picture. Oh, it's so cute. Anyway, I am using these. They're not... So I like to make a collage once I know exactly what I want to do. Since I don't know that yet, I've just got these like long lists of pictures of little pied cormorants, all kinds of different scenes. And their nests are a total mess. So that's great because I can just go do whatever and it's gonna work out. I don't have to. For instance, some birds really weave their nests really neatly, but these fellows are just like throw it together, and if it sticks, then if it sticks because it's made out of sticks, then that works. Something though that's interesting about the little pied cormorant in particular, it seems, is that they don't just use sticks. They put grasses and leaves and stuff in with it as well. So that's something I want to keep in there. And I've seen in photos that the grasses have dried. By the time the babies are fairly big as they'll be for a first birthday scene, the grasses are all dried. They're not green anymore. So I just want to keep that in mind as I'm drawing, that there will be leaves of... It looked like really big, like almost bamboo-like grasses. Okay, see you when you get back. Well, sort of see you. See your chat in the chat when you get back. Okay, so we'll just have this front edge of the nest sticking up in front of everything and everybody else. So I don't have to draw every little thing, but I want to draw enough that it helps me visualize it for the big final sketch. And of course I love to draw outside of this border here because then it that's another thing that helps with visualization. Because even though you don't see this whole blade of grass, but you can see these two little lines here, I found that my illustrations look much nicer if I design outside of the borders. Okay, that's probably a good example of the nest. Don't need to add every little stick. Because their nests are quite big for considering the size of the birds themselves, the adult birds. It's like, I don't know, 4 times as big, it seems, as the adult birds. But then that's nice because the 2 parents and however many babies can have plenty of room. Okay, so we've got one baby here looking with the starry eyes, and I've got this great image showing a baby in a nest, not a what I'd call a juvenile in that it's almost an adult kind of thing, but it's not a tiny chick either. I feel like this is the representation of a 1-year-old for this like first birthday scene that we have. I don't know how long it actually takes them to become fully fledged. It might not take a year, but for the sake of the birthday card, I think that it's fine. I like using this one because the shape is fairly similar to the adult, but there's some key differences. The head is very tapered, and I think that might be because the full feathers have not come out yet to give them that spiky feather on the top of the head that the adults have. And it definitely has not grown all the feathers out further beyond the eye that they have. Even more distinct than that is the fact that all their feathers are black when they're a baby, not a tiny newborn chick, but this size. All the feathers are black, and that's very distinct from the adults who are black and white. That's why they're called pied. So I'm going to use this reference and my sketch here. So we want the head to be about this big, I think, placed about here. They still have the same elegant curving neck as the adults. And then, so let's see. I have to use my imagination here because the image I'm looking at over there on my screen is a profile view. So the beak is like this, but it's closed and it's perfectly on the side. What I want is more like facing like this. So it's like a 3/4 view and looking up as well, looking up at the cupcake coming. So I've got to use my imagination. I'm going to make the eyes a bit bigger than they are naturally so that I can fit the cute stars into them that I'd like to do. And so let's see, the edge of the mouth comes back behind the eye. Using my imagination here, they do still seem to have that same hook on the end of the beak. And something interesting I found while doing the photo research online is the top beak seems to open more than the bottom beak. And I always imagine birds having the top beak is stationary and the bottom beak opens like this, like the lower jaw opens like this. But the images I've been seeing, bottom one seems to stay rather straight, and then the top one opens like this. So that's something I want to keep in mind, even though I'm not seeing it in this image here that I'm looking at, that I'm working from, because this one is just a baby just sitting there and chilling out. But the baby I want to draw is excited and like saying like, put the cupcake in my mouth. So do my best to, in fact, we'll move the beak even higher up to show that upward motion of the upper jaw. And let's draw a little star in the eye. Oh yeah, that looks good. I like that. And then the wings. And maybe we'll have one foot coming over. And these are the webbed feet. I practiced drawing them a lot last week. they're a lot more articulate than I would have imagined. I'm really glad that I did the practice drawing sessions last week, because I wouldn't have realized that without just spending time drawing different versions, different sketches based on reference photos. I don't know if it actually would do this, but let's put the tongue sticking up, so that'll show. Aoife is snoring. That'll show excitement too, I think, because when you're super excited, you can put your tongue out. Okay, let's put the other wing visible here. Okay, I'm gonna take a sip of my water real quick. So yeah, it's so weird. I feel like 95% well. Eva snoring some more. But then it's like right now, doing live streaming, I'm like, yeah, I'm definitely not 100% because my throat is unusually sore and scratchy. Take a drink of water to help moisten it. Maybe that will help. Okay, so we've got this baby. I don't think we'd be seeing a tail, although I'm gonna search real quick. Baby tiger coal. See if maybe with babies their tails are short enough that they might hold them up or something. You know, like when a cat is super happy and then they are like, and their little tail is sticky straight up. Let's see. I might have to look at a video. I don't like looking at a video because then I have to wait for it to get to the part that I'm thinking about. Aw. These like little sleeping ones. Aw, they're so cute. Lots of them are sleeping, so it's hard to tell if they'd hold their tail up. This one doesn't really have its tail up. Maybe I'll draw the tail up anyway, just because griffins aren't real. So I can do what I want. It's hard to say. I don't really see too many image of them like walking around. It's more like they're cuddled up with each other or sitting. There's one. His tail is sort of up. What the heck? I'll just do what I want. Artist prerogative. So my idea is, so if we follow the spine, so it's curving back. Okay, so here's the cranium. It's curving down, curving back up through the back. And then we'll say like the tail curves up like this. And then that way we can have a little indication, because otherwise none of the griffin part of this is showing. So that's the main reason I want to put the tail. To show like, wait a minute, this is not a bird. And let's put a little spotted pattern on it. And then it also just looks cute, and I think that the visual language that many people are familiar with at least with cats, dogs too, and they're happy and then their tail curls up. So that could also help with showing that this little fellow is super excited. Oh, let me hold it up close. I'm quite happy. Oh, Exie is back. Hello! Welcome back! Perfect timing. You can see how this little baby is shaping up so far. I think that we'll probably have to move for the final sketch, move this over or make it smaller. But let's try drawing the adult beak with the cupcake right here. So now I need a... So I'm actually quite happy with how this is turning out. If everything else, if the placement of everything else seems to jive, then I won't necessarily need to do more. I can just move on to the final sketch. Well, let's find a picture of an adult. Oh, especially one with the beak open would be nice. And here's another example of the upper beak is the one that seems to move the most, like up like this. I just don't feel like I see that too much with, maybe that happens with seabirds, or maybe it's a cormorant thing. There's lots of different kinds of cormorants. The one with its mouth open that I'm seeing in this list of images is a baby, so, well, it's a juvenile. It still has some brown feathers. I'd like to get a picture of an adult. Oh, maybe this one. Because the adults still have slightly different feather patterns than, definitely different than babies, like infants, babies, juveniles, and then adults. They each have slightly different feathers, like where the feathers grow and the color. But this one seems great. Ah, I see. Okay. Yep, it's got that top part opens. I can see the length of the beak and how wide it opens, and then I'm just going to use that. It's the image I'm looking at is like this. So I'm going to like use my imagination to put it like this and put a cupcake inside. So let's see. So we can make it really close to the viewer. So like if this, in fact, let me get I'm gonna use my gray pen. If we're using these eyes and the direction of the beak, draw a little dotted line. Should be looking around here. Just show you what I did. I drew a little dotted line showing where the line of vision, based on the pose that I've drawn, where it should be. Okay. Cupcake. Oh, you know what? I want to look what... I know in my head what a cupcake looks like, but birthday cupcakes. It's, even with a cupcake, it's way better to look at pictures, I think, to really get an idea of what exactly you want your cupcake to look like. So yeah, because there's some of these have like piped style frosting with using like a star tip on it, so it's got those edges. But I feel like a Griffin's cupcakes would be not piped, but more like that sort of just hand. Let's see if I can find one. Oh, something like this. That's kind of blurry, but something like this where it's just sort of someone took a knife and went blub, 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 and just rubbed the frosting on the top. I think that's more what Griffins would do. At least how I'm imagining. So I think something like that. Oh, this one is great. Has nice contrast between the frosting, the cake part, and then the little cup part. Although we don't need the cup part, I think, because the babies would eat it. I don't want them to eat the wrapper. Okay. Yeah, I really do like the look of a white cake with a darker or just a slightly different colored frosting. All right, now that I've looked at all those, though, I'm going to just go back to that green one. I think that's nice. Want it to look tasty, but still like a little touch of natural environment. I don't know if that makes any sense. Cupcake and little sprinkles on the top. It's like if you carry the logic too far, then it's like, well, if they could bake cupcakes, I'm sure they could pipe frosting. Don't take it that far. Don't think that hard about it. Okay. There's just the basic cupcake. It probably will look different in the final sketch, but now we've got the beak with this nice curved tip, which is great for holding the cupcake in place. And then, oh, we wouldn't even see, if we drew it this far out, we wouldn't even see the back part of the beak. In fact, I think I made it a bit too big for, I would have to make the beak bigger. Bigger beak. Ah, there we go. So it's that big. Come down like this. And I think maybe this just rotate a little bit like this and maybe move upward so that the cupcake is what, so that these eyes are looking, so right now the eyes are just kind of looking at where the beak is touching the cupcake. I don't know how well that shows. I guess I'll bring this up there. Some little edits if I draw this again. But let's add some more characters to the scene. 8 minutes until break time. Alright. So I think next will be the 2 siblings. So the first sibling is in front of the one parent, and the other sibling is actually on the parent's back. So let's see if I can find. So this is that young one, but it would be nice if I could find another one from a different angle. Oh yeah, here's a little set of them. It actually looks like 3 in this nest together, so it's perfect. Maybe even 4. Anyway, the number doesn't matter, but they're so cute. They're very, very fluffy. When they're in this, like, fully black... I just had a great thought. It's like they're in their teenager stage, and they're all wearing black. It's nothing but black. Of course, they're not making this choice. This is just how nature has worked out for them. But they're all just completely... Like, every feather is black. The only thing that's not is their face and head, and that's because it's like bald and it's like a yellow color. That's funny. Thinking of it that way. Okay, so the nest is pretty big. The distance I have based on the relative size of the 3 siblings, which is this one, and this one, makes the nest seem absolutely gigantic. So I think I'm gonna try drawing this sibling a little bigger and maybe have them behind this one here. This scene though does fit really well, so I don't want to change the size too much, even if it means the nest looks like absolutely humongous. But it is nice to have overlap anyway, instead of having, so right here it's actually just like meeting perfectly right here, and that's what was called a tangent in all of my illustration classes, is when things, instead of overlapping or having a decent amount of space between them, just meet perfectly at the edge, and then that's a visual distraction. So there's actually many reasons why trying moving that griffin, making them a little bit bigger and putting them behind this sibling is a good idea. Okay, let's see. Based on my thumbnail, this second sibling is about on the third, if we divide this half into thirds, it's about on this third line, and it's also a little bit under the halfway line horizontally. So I'm do my best to... So let's see. This is the one waiting for a cupcake. I'm going to have to think about many, many things all at once here. One of the siblings has already eaten a cupcake and has cake all over their face. One of them is waiting. That's this one. And another one is in the middle of eating the cupcake, has the cupcake in the mouth. So that'll be this one. Because, let me get this again. Because this parent has just dropped the cupcake in. And then this one's like, yay, thanks so much for the cupcake. Now get me more. Okay. I have to think of all these things because it makes a difference to what pose would they be in. So this one will have just had tasty cupcake dropped into their mouth. Ah! I've been thinking so long that my pen has gotten quite dry. There, it came back to life now. Okay, let's see. This photo that I'm looking at is excellent because one of these babies is facing back, or is facing away from the viewer so that you can see the back. Since the top part of the beak is the part that moves, I'm going to put that up. Aoife, what are you doing? Oh. One of my cords was moving on my monitor. Aoife is... oh, there you are, girl. She was bumping the cord, but wasn't doing anything to harm it, so just let it be. Alright, this one I'm going to put little happy, like anime style happy eyes, of course. One wing. You can see the back end. These babies are very fluffy. Like, they're not, to my knowledge, what one would call fledglings because they're still getting their flying feathers in. Most of the feathers are so fluffy, like they would not be able to fly with that. And it means that the back here is just like this soft, velvety looking texture instead of the smooth feathers that I'm used to. And a lot of the wings are also fluffy, fluffy. Alright. Alright, and then putting another one of these more rustic, homemade, not fancy cupcakes in this little buddy's mouth. Just a little indication of the lower jaw. Fuzzy, fuzzy back of the head. I think that the only thing is I should make the back go out farther and then have the wing rising up on the other side. And let's have, so we're going to follow this curve again. For the spine, curving down through the neck, up a little bit through the back, and then again with the tail coming out. Enjoy. And that way, because again, there's not really much, you can't really tell very much that this is a griffin rather than, because of the nest. It's going to be up to this parent that's going to be right here to really show that it's a griffin and these two. I have a couple spectators back here. I think I could add more, but we'll see. I don't want to add too much. Ooh, I smeared my ink. Anyway, having the tails here helps show that there's something more to these birds. Oh, it's perfectly break time. So here's how this sketch is coming along so far. There's the cupcake in this one's mouth. I do like this size better. This one's just slightly smaller than this one. I think that makes more sense, especially now that I'm seeing 3 babies of this age, maybe even 4 in this reference image, and they are just like all huddled together. And the nest does not seem so big anymore. It actually seems kind of small for that many to fit. But it is break time, so I'm going to put my little be right back sign up. Hope everybody else will also take a nice break. Make sure you get up and stretch and look at something off in the distance if you haven't already been doing so. Give your eyes a break as well. I'll be back in 5 minutes. Hey everyone, I'm back. I'm gonna turn my volume up slowly to normal levels. Hopefully it was not startling when I came back, since I still don't have like a little slideshow video. I definitely want to make that eventually for my Be Right Backs, and it's just like a little slideshow video that plays until I'm back. Anyway, let's resume working on this sketch. Couldn't think of what it was called. So we've got two babies in here, one parent who's just barely off scene. I think another thing that could help coming back with a little bit freshened eyes is turning this a little bit this way so that we're not seeing it directly from the side. Instead of it's like a 3/4 away view. That could help it so that it matches the angle that the baby is looking at. Let's continue filling out this sketch though before I completely redraw it. I think that things are going pretty well for it. So I still don't know if I will need these other 4 sketch areas that I laid out, but okay. Next, I want to draw the other parent, which is going to be the big representative of the fact that these are griffins and not regular old cormorants. As if cormorants are boring or something. They're totally not boring, but let's see. I'd like to find an image of them looking down, even if they're not actually feeding. But one with the cormorant looking down would be nice. Oh, look, here's 2 babies with all black, but they're up on sticks, so maybe they grew out enough feathers to be able to fly. Good job, babies. They're all looking out. They're not looking down. Okay, I have a different page that I've been looking at. Maybe we can find something there. I'll go back to the top. This one is just a long list of images instead of like a side-by-side gallery. Hello, Exie! Did you have a nice break too? Definitely did my stretching. My neck has been killing me since before I got sick. It's been better in the past few days, but so like when I did my stretching, I did a lot of neck stretching because it's been bothering me. Oh, something like this might be nice. I know the actual stream is very boring right now because it doesn't look like I'm doing anything. Because I'm just scrolling through these images off screen. Here's some of them flying. They're always looking off. Oh, that one's kind of. It's preening its feathers so that its head is down. And I think the printing the feathers one is pretty good. I can't see the eyes. Drat. Let's just try. Using my imagination. Although with how big this one is, it is a bit hard. But these are actually, so when the babies are this big, they're actually pretty close to the parent's size. So it might not be too much of a problem, actually. So let's just draw a little bit more of the nest going back here. Now that we've got this baby griffin here, we can draw some nest going back for the other parent to stand on. It's like right about here, I think. So if their heads are about the same size, maybe a little bit bigger, but then that, and then, so trying to match the angle, I think, of this one. Or maybe a little bit off, because if their beaks touch like this, then it's hard to hand off the cupcake. But if they touch like this, then they can hand off the cupcake easier, I think. If that makes any sense, I don't know. But this preening picture is actually great for seeing what the beak looks like from this top angle. And they've got their awesome black feathers coming back. This is an adult one, so you've got the black and the white. And then the neck curves up and around. Just, they're so elegant. Birds are just always so beautiful. Okay, we've got the neck, and then let's get the body in here. And what I wanted to do, to give somewhere for this other baby to be hanging out on, is, even though I figured out this is indeed a drying the feathers pose, I want to have this wing out, and then this other baby can be hanging out up here with their cake face. That's the idea I had anyway. That's what I'm gonna try. And then, since it is a griffin, we need to move the front legs. Or we need to move what the legs are on the bird into the front legs of the griffin. And now, I'll hold this up so you can see where we are so far. And then I'm going to look up some more images on my phone. The tiger quoll. We need a tiger quoll picture. I believe I've searched tiger quoll so many times and my keyboard still hasn't remembered that I want to search that. I need one kind of from the front. This might actually be a nice picture here. A lot of them are from the side. Oh, this one's good. So we can see the back foot from a more front angle, but we can see the back foot, what the back foot does. So let's see. Yeah, I think that's good. So we'll have the back foot, the back leg, the hind leg kind of coming out like this. And who knows, I don't know if we'd actually see all the toes because all these sticks are pell-mell kind of around the nest. I'll definitely need to find a more detailed reference for the feathers, and I'm just going to use my imagination here. Previous experience drawing wings to just draw this wing here. Just so that it's taking up the amount of space that it would probably take. And it would go in front of this back leg. And we put the spots on here. It's nice, the spots, since there's hardly any of the tiger quoll part showing. The spots, I think, will help make it more obvious. Some ink in the feet here because it's getting really confusing right here. We're like, what is foot and what is sticks? So I'm just going to ink those in so it's more obvious what it is. So got that. The tail won't be visible, I think, because it'll just be sort of hanging down off the back side of the nest. But if this wing is open, I feel like to keep it balanced, this wing would probably be open. Yay, I love this. I think this is good. I don't think it looks too much like a bird. I think it looks like a griffin, or at least not a bird. Or there's something weird about this bird. If that's all that comes across, I think that's enough to get people to be like, wait a minute. Okay, so that does not really leave too much room for the cake face baby. So we could put them somewhere else, but I really like the idea of them popping up over here. So let's just draw it like that and see. We'll have it, I think, at an angle, a cute angle. Let's see. So they can't just be like growing out of the shoulder. We gotta show something. So maybe their tail actually, maybe this baby's tail actually comes down. And it's so nice. The babies of the tiger quoll and the adult tiger quoll have the spotted pattern. So it's great because where the feathers between the adults and the children of these birds, cormorants, are fairly different, but the babies don't look too much different as far as the pattern and colors of the tiger quoll the babies compared to the adults. Maybe a little hand is showing here. Baby holding on to this wing. Maybe another one on this side. I think that kind of helps. Showing what's going on here with his little head is poking over the shoulder. But what the heck is going on? So maybe this tail right here and these little indications of 2 feet gripping the shoulders. Maybe that helps. And it's meant to be a dirty cake face. I don't know if I can convey that well in this sketch. Draw little blips all over. It'll be good if I make the frosting a specific, like, bright color. Then, for sure, seeing it on the otherwise black griffin, black and yellow. So I gotta make sure the beaks are yellow. So it's gotta be something different. Probably not red, because then it will look like it's got this like bloody mouth. so maybe well, I'll think about it. I don't have to think about the colors right now. Ah, I like it. I like it. So now the only thing left was filling the background with like friends or elders looking on and being a part of this celebration, this birthday celebration. What I had was just a random branch growing across. It's growing like this in the sketch, in the thumbnail sketch. But I wonder if a different angle might be better. Matching a little bit more with this one, or... So this is in, these nests are often built in like the crooks of 2 branches or more branches growing out like this, and they're built in that sort of like the crook of the branches. So having just like a random branch growing across doesn't necessarily work in my mind. Then again, people looking at this as a birthday scene might not care. They might not care if the branch makes sense. I guess the only thing I'm thinking about still, having logicked that out, is the way this is coming across just sort of cuts through the head here. Might be better if it helps with directing. How can I say this? So right now it's kind of, we've got an X. This branch goes across like this. The psychic line between the eyes and the cupcake here sort of makes an X. And that might be fine, because then X marks the spot, and this baby's head is this subject. The thing that these lines direct you to look at. But something I'm thinking about is if we do it more along the same, so that, not exactly parallel, but so that they're not opposing angles, and maybe they're a little bit more similar, like this. I wonder if that might be better. The only way to tell is to try it. But I like this sketch so much, I don't want to just go blue and then, because I really like how this is looking. I think I might just like shrink it down a little bit, little small changes that I've indicated with arrows, but so far it's turned out so nice that I just want to keep working with this one. Of course, I shouldn't hang on to it so tight. Should be willing to keep working and do another one if necessary. I guess something that could help is lowering it a bit. So right now it's going through the top half. It's like maybe along the third line if you divide it in half and then you divide this upper half in thirds. But the way this is worked out, there's lots of space. So if I draw it like this, it could actually connect these faces with this one, and then we would have room here, here, and here to draw more people enjoying this celebration. So right now there's only really room for 2. So let's do that. Alright, I figured out what I want to do. I don't want to be too on the nose by drawing the branch right behind the eye here, so I'm going to draw it a little bit lower. Once again, I've been dawdling so much that my pen has gotten dry. And then maybe let's draw one going up too. And then that way I've got the best of both worlds, with one sort of vibing with this angle and then one making the X angle. Yeah, nice. Nice. So let's draw somebody here. Ooh, it's hard to decide though. These birds, the little pied cormorants, nest a lot and spend a lot of time with other completely different species of water birds. So I could draw somebody else here, or I could just draw more pied cormorants and let it be a family thing. What should I do? I guess the water birds all have a similar elegant neck. So at the very least I can just draw the overall shape the same. And then maybe I can make the details different. Little feet gripping the branch. And then here we'll have one of the back feet is gripping this lower branch actually. And then we'll have the tail hanging down. And I've drawn this wing a little higher than this wing because this branch would be pushing the holes this side of the body up. And let's have a couple more. I wonder if maybe they could, so this is kind of thin now. This griffin has a couple of places to hold on to, but the branch is getting thinner here, so maybe these ones could be sitting up on their haunches. I just have the feet the front feet just kind of hanging down. I think it might be good to do something a little bit more interesting. But this is just for now. And I've ended up putting this one's wings out, I think because that will help with balance. Yeah, I ended up with 2 anyway. This was taking up so much space. Drawing some lines now to indicate the nest behind. So this was just blank space, but this should be nest. Well, right here is the body of this griffin, but right here and here should be not blank. I'm just looking at the scene now. I meant to add more griffins to the background, then I ended up making that one's wings open to sort of balance, sitting on the haunches. Oh, let's put the tail down too. Tail hanging down. And I'm looking at the overall effect. So I guess I'll hold it up close so you can see what I'm seeing too. And then I can look at it in the screen, and that's actually helpful. So what I'm seeing here is on this half, so this is going to be the front of the card, this half of the illustration, and we've got 3 faces making a triangle. And that's nice because they're all connected to one another in that way, and we cover this. I think it looks like a pretty solid scene on its own. Like maybe if we move this down a bit so that not so, because the neck is being lost right here and this head is right on the edge, but we can move it down a bit. And then I think that's really nice on its own. And then, so let's look at the other side. So this will be the back half of the card. We actually have 4 griffins in the scene, but only 3 faces. So once again, 3. I was taught, and I agree, that odd numbered groups look nicer. They just look nicer. At least if you're trying to get a more naturalistic looking scene. And so we've got another triangle here as well. The 3 heads. And we also have this line connecting here, this psychic line between the eyes and the cupcake, which is held by another griffin, but you can barely tell that it's a griffin. It's just barely the beak is in there. So I'm considering whether I want to add any more griffins in, because I think it's actually kind of nice, and it's nice to have a little bit of breathing room here. We can just put some background showing the environment that they're in. So yeah, now that I have explained that to myself and to anyone watching, I think I just want to put those notes down. Move entire scene down. I'll put arrows. Move scene down. And here I wanted to 3/4 view to match baby. So I want to turn this head so it's not a straight on profile view. I want to match the angle, but in reverse of this baby's head, because I think that makes more sense. And then I just thought of a great reason to make these two the same type of griffin as these, and that is because we're not really getting that many indications that these are, like, we don't have a full uncovered griffin here, but here and here their almost entire body is showing, and then that way these can help inform, oh, they're the same as these and they must all be griffins. You don't see any back legs here, you don't even see any front legs on this one. Okay, so I'm going to put star, all griffins, same type. Let me get another drink of water. I always use my shaker bottle because it had my green smoothie in it, and then I like to put water in it and get the last of the nutrients out. So that's why it's water, but also why I shake it. In case anybody was wondering. Okay. Man, I'm pretty happy with this. I think what I want to do now, actually, I don't know if this is good with marker. I'm going to do a little test here. See if I can use a little marker to get contrast, because I've got this line drawing and I want to think about contrast now. If not, I can use this image and then just use marker here, here, and copy the general shapes and imitate the colors. Just to see, so like we might need to change something here because this wing I think is black underneath. And if the baby is against a black wing, the head is going to be lost. So let me go. Let's see. Or see if I can find one of these. Oh, perfect. This one is actually like about to drop into the water to like fish or something. And so yes, the underside of the wings is black. The belly and down onto the legs and through the neck, that's all white, but it stops where the wings start. So that is somewhere where I might have to change. Okay, so let me get a marker real quick and see if this is... I have a feeling it's not marker proof. Oh! Oh, looks like it is! Hooray! Yay! Okay, so now I've just got to select a... I don't want to, like, color it, like, super specific. I'm not like color swatching for the final thing, but I just want the general idea of the colors. So I got the neutral gray 8, which is fairly dark gray, and that'll be for the black feathers. The beaks are kind of a yellow. It doesn't really matter exactly what color I use, I just need to show. So I'll use this one. Cadmium yellow. So that'll be for the beaks. For the tiger quoll part, I was going to make it black just like the rest, even though tiger quolls are brown. But I'm going to match the bird half to the mammal half. The nests are made out of dried stuff, and in all the photos it seems really light colored. Maybe we'll try, oh, that might be too light. We'll just try this one. We'll see. Dull ivory, it's called, for the nesting material. We'll leave this branch in the back too. The white feathers I'll just leave white, and let's see. I want to look at some of the backgrounds. It's a lot of green or blue in a lot of these backgrounds, because it's either the sky is showing or it's the greenery of the rest of this wetland forest. I think green will be nice. Green for the background colors. But we don't want it to be too vibrant, so hopefully this pea green will be nice, because we don't want the background to overtake by being too vibrant and pop out in front of the rest. What other colors do I need? I think that might be enough other than the cupcake color, but I'm not trying to figure that out right now. I'm just trying to figure out contrast, but using color. So anything that will be black. So I didn't want to use actual black because I don't want to lose my lines. I just want to get an idea of how they'll be. Yeah, so I think I'll have to lose this wing. Just have one wing out or something. Or maybe no wing out. And just show the baby on top. Aoife's getting up if you're hearing a bunch of clacking and stuff. I'm also coloring purposefully rather roughly so that I'm keeping white space in between different characters and stuff. So yeah, I'm glad I did this because this whole area would just be a bunch of black on black. And I can add highlights, of course, to help differentiate, but I think it would be much better. It's one thing to have these two sort of combining and their tails touching and they look like the same and maybe you can't tell which one is which. But adding this wing as well, I think is a little bit too much, and it's just a whole bunch of, like, can't tell what is what there. So let's continue adding this dark color for any dark areas. Feet, of course, and this, everything except for the face basically is black on these young cormorants. I guess I'll use the small end for the background stuff. If these fellows are also all the same kind of griffin, they will also be black. And I suppose this is another reason to, yep, the legs. It's another reason to get rid of this wing, if nothing else. We could have just one sticking out. So I'm sure that the bird itself could stick one wing out and not the other wing out. I know because I've seen my pigeons do it sometimes when they're stretching. they'll stretch one wing, whee, and they stretch the leg at the same time, the same leg. Anyway, so I know that birds are perfectly capable of picking a wing and putting it out. So if we just got rid of this wing, it would solve all the problems because we wouldn't be having black on black between this one and the far background. We wouldn't have black on black with these tails or the head here meeting really closely. Okay. So here's another one. So the neck and the belly, but the wings are all black. Okay. Let's add a little bit of color. Beak and face is going to be a bright yellow. Beaks on the adults also bright yellow. I'm so glad this pen is marker proof. This is the best. Okay, the green, this is for the background. Not necessarily going to be this color, but this is just to help give an idea of the overall. Oh, I missed a little tip of wing here. I actually like right here, this yellow is cutting through the black of this one in the background, and that's overlap instead of tangent. Oops, need the big one. Need the big one. It's just going to be like jungly wetland background. So maybe we'd see some here too. Yep. All this stuff should be nest or griffin. Alright, and here's the color that I chose for the nest and branches. Oh, Wolf is here. Hello, how are you? Thank you for joining me. Did you have a great day at work? If you went to work today? Been having a good week so far? It's hump day. Yay. We're over the hump. Yep. I think that just losing this wing is probably all I need to do. Let me hold this up so you can see my sketch so far. Yeah, this is too much black all on top of each other because we've got this background griffin, we've got this mid-ground griffin, and then these foreground baby griffins all having their different body parts that are black fur feathers overlapping it. It's just a little too much. It's actually not so bad when I consider that it's at this halfway point where the card will be folded anyway. But I still think it would be better to bring this wing in. And maybe the other one. Let's try that real quick. We'll just re-sketch this part now that we've done these colors. Well, it's like the opposite of last week. Hope things are going well. It's good that you're doing well. Always happy to hear that. Hope you're able to relax after the long... Oh, Aoife is announcing herself again. Oh, excuse me. I also had a little bit of extra after I gulped a bunch of water. The puppies have lots of announcements, let's say, because they're both on antibiotics and it's messing with them. Chappie actually turned out to have, so we got 2 ticks off of her last year, and this year they detected bacterial tick-borne disease. So Chappie's already been on antibiotics, but they also had their dental cleanings, and they both had to lose. Aoife had to lose 2 chipped teeth, and Chappie had to lose a tooth where stuff was very easily getting up into it. So it was definitely, it was like a ticking time bomb, basically, for her. So get it out of there before it goes rotten and causes her some real grief. But it means they're on antibiotics for that dental surgery, and yeah, they have a lot of announcements all day, all day long. But it's better to deal with it, especially Chappie sleeps next to me at night, so it's kind of rough. It's kind of rough sometimes. And we're training them to accept brushing their teeth, so hopefully this will not be something that is a regular occurrence to have to do so much with their teeth and everything. Okay, I think I drew this head a little bit too far down, but that's not as important as just getting the body in here and seeing what it's like without the wing open. Can a dog get a root canal? I'm not sure. I don't think that's what they had, because they just took the teeth out. But I'm no expert on dentistry. I've never had a root canal, thank God, because I have known people who have, and they're just terrible. But, and I've never lost anything but a baby tooth, thank goodness, as well. I have nightmares about my teeth falling out and my teeth crumbling away and stuff. It's a recurring theme. Be like, my teeth, oh no. I do my very best to take really good care of my teeth. Okay, so this one is closed. You'd still see it at this angle though, so. But if we have one out and one closed, and then we would have the back foot. Oh, you've had a root canal and it's not that bad? That's good. It's good to know that it's not always just terrible. I think the reason why I have been scared into taking good care of my teeth and I have nightmares about it is not because of people's root canals, but because when I had braces, they showed me pictures of what happens if you don't take care of your teeth while you have braces on, and I was like, ooh, nope. So they were stunned when they took my braces off, because they had to keep the braces on for like an extra 6 months or something, because I took good care of the cleaning, but they wanted me to wear these rubber bands all the time. They're the most uncomfortable thing. It's like, I did not wear the rubber bands, like not those little bands that go over each individual tooth's like little metal thing that they cement on, but like these bands that pulled your top jaw to your bottom jaw to like fix overbite or underbite. And it was so bad. It was so painful. And so I hardly wore that. So they kept the braces on for way longer. And then they were like really impressed that my teeth are perfectly clean. There were no cavities or anything, but it's because they showed me those horrible images of people's teeth with holes all in them and stuff. And I think that's why even today I take great care of my teeth. I have not had a cavity in years and years and years, but I still sometimes have awful dreams. I think this might actually work, having the one wing out. I think it makes it a little more dynamic. Who have this baby's wings out too, because there's more room now that I've drawn it like this. And then the baby's tail can hang down like this maybe. You can't really see it now, it's just a bunch of black ink, but I drew the hand holding on to the wing again here. This is the one with the messy cake face. And this one has the happy eyes, eating the cupcake right now. That's good. That's good that you are having that experience. I've never been particularly scared of the dentist. Like, even as a kid, everyone was like, oh, I was scared of the dentist or whatever. But I was like, I think I had, I was lucky to have good experiences. But definitely now, it's just sort of time consuming. It's just, I just have to sit there and let them clean my teeth. Or the thing that I like the least is getting the x-rays once a year. X-rays of my teeth once a year. That's the only thing that really bothers me. Oh, well, at least it's relaxing then. So even though you're having, oh, you're all caught up. Wonderful, wonderful. Yay. I'm so glad for you. All caught up. That's wonderful. Yep, is there anything in particular that makes the dentist relaxing for you? Because something I think really helped me as a kid were the dentists where they had like TVs. My favorite dentist as a kid had TV in the ceiling. So it's like you're freaking bored just laying there. And even as a kid, like your attention span's even shorter than as an adult. And so it's so great to just be like, Nickelodeon is just playing while you're using the dentistry chair and is sitting there, like either just waiting and being bored, waiting for them to finally work on you, or waiting for them to be done working on you. Oh, that's nice. Oh, yeah. Do they use the water pick on you now? So that was a new thing for me in recent years that they started doing. They get like this high pressure water pick instead of only using the scraping tools. So they use the water pick first and then they use the scraping tools for anything that's left over. And that really helped make it nicer for me. So this little baby one, whether I do the wing up or down, it is going to, I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect. It's probably fine, actually, to be like that. But I do want to keep in mind that it's going to be black on black here. Either way, because either with just only the head showing than the wing, or here I've drawn this one a little more. Oh, let me hold it up so you can actually see better. This one I've drawn, so let me show you. Okay. So this one's just sort of growing out of the shoulder. Then you can see a little hand here and a little hand here gripping, and the tail is coming out. Down here, what I've done is put this one's wing out as well. The hand is here, but you can't really see it because of all this black and dark. And then the tail is coming out here. So either way, there's going to be black on black right there, but it doesn't have to be like 100% no black can touch any black, but I just want to make sure it's not too much in any one area, basically. Okay, so this is with one wing out and one wing put, excuse me, one wing put back in. For some reason, I'm struggling with wing. I'm going to try one more time. Maybe I'll just draw it right here. One more time with both wings on this parent put in and showing the baby scrambling on the back with the wing tucked in. Oh, didn't have to have that done. Oh, the water pick thing. It's actually quite nice. It's a little tad bit cold sometimes, but they can turn the heat of the water up. And so if I just let them know, then they'll turn it up and I'm like, oh, that's so nice. Yeah, this is the one. So here's the thumbnail. Because I decided I have to move forward. So I've got this whole page, and I just said, like, let's just pick one and go with it. So I picked this one, and then this is the more detailed sketch that I came up with some notes that I've worked out for how I want to change it for the final one, and then now. As you've been seeing, we are just working out how to make this not so much black on black on black right here as far as contrast is concerned. Oh, good. Oh, I feel like I remember now that you said that. Now that you say that, I remember that you said that. Oh, that's so nice. Maybe that subconsciously directed me. But I looked them over. My second pick was this one. I like this very different angle, the top-down angle. But this feels more like Community, and also this one doesn't have as powerful, if you take it front only or back only when it's folded as a card, it's just not as strong. But this one has a strong scene whether you're looking at it, or at least I think so, whether you're looking at it as a full thing or only the front half or only the back half. Oh, thank you, Exie! Oh, thank you, Wolf. Could be used for another card. Yeah, or maybe like just a different illustration altogether and not worrying about the card thing. Or now these are all ideas that are in my head that can be recycled. I don't even necessarily have to look at this page anymore. Oh my goodness! How are we almost out of time? Because I'm having a great time chatting and also a great time figuring this out. I love this. I'm so happy. I did this little test swatch. I'm so happy that the ink in here is marker proof. It's the best. Okay, let's take another sip of water. Let's see if in the next 2 minutes I can sketch this again. Maybe I'll do it even more roughly because we have the general idea of what we want stuff to be. I'm just trying to see if this parent looks good with 2 wings in. So it's a lovely little round body and the back leg here with the foot coming out. Front legs here. This is front feet. Yeah, super rough just to hurry for this. But here we're going to have the wings folded in, tucked around. And then the baby. I'm already feeling like I prefer it with the wing out because the baby, I guess they could have their head out like this and snaking the neck back this way maybe. I don't know if it improves without. Let's keep drawing real quick. Almost out of time, but let's keep drawing. So my idea is that maybe the wing is out for stabilization, because climbing on the back is probably not that easy, especially for a young griffin with not as much fine motor skills or whatever. It's still developing. But I thought that maybe more of the body could show, but I realized that if they're not using this wing to support themselves, the body has to actually come behind here. And like maybe you would see the tail hanging over this way. Maybe the other wing would be folded in and you'd see it there. It's actually not bad. Well, I sketched it. We are at time. Let's just call this good and we'll come back to it tomorrow. In fact, I'll probably just leave all this stuff out just as it is and just come back to it just like this, because then I don't have to worry about which markers did I use, like noting them down or whatever. Just leave it out. So Let me show you what we worked on today before we go raid somebody. Probably David Peterson. He was streaming, if he's still streaming. So we worked out a larger, more detailed sketch for composition and contrast. And then we, plus lots and lots of notes. Plus we worked out a couple more variations to make sure that there's not too much overlap of the black fur and feathers. I think that's a nice 2 hours work. Text over that as is. Oh, oh, that's so nice. I would love to do. You gave me goosebumps. I would love to do a children's book. That's why I'm a member of the Children's Book Writers and Illustrators. Yeah, I hope someday that I can get my own books published, and I would love to illustrate someone else's idea as well. So thank you. That is so nice to hear. That is a very high compliment to me. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Let me see about doing a raid. I love this idea. This is an excellent idea. Because then I also get to enjoy watching streams, which I never did before because I was like, I don't have time. But if I do this... Yep, he's still streaming. Excellent. Behind the ads right now. 5 seconds. I want to make sure that he's not, like, on break or something. Oh, yeah, he's actively... Oh, he's sketching a mouse guard thing. Yay! I love his mouse guard stuff. Okay, so now I have to go to my channel and go to my own stream and type /raid. I'm getting so good. Oh, my keyboard remembered. Nice. David Peterson. Okay. Go. Yes. The raid has started. The countdown has started. While it's counting down, I want to let everybody know I will be back tomorrow with another illustration stream, just continuing right where we left off. And I also want to thank you all for joining me for my stream, and especially everybody for chatting with me. It makes the time go by so much faster. I get way more done. It's ironic. I get way more done while chatting with you. So thank you, thank you. Children's book online comic. Yeah, that would be so fun. Episodes per week. Yeah. Just do it. Do it live, like the comic is just happening live. And I finish a panel and hold it up. That's part of the story or something. That would be so fun. Ah! Okay. It's time to raid. Time to tap now. Yay! Alright, so we have raided. Yay! If anybody is still here with me in my channel, I'm going to be ending the stream now. Hope to see you tomorrow, and I want to wish you a very wonderful rest of your day. Thank you for watching.